Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Así viviendo este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I am your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite place on the planet. And I sure would like to make it your favorite vacation destination in the entire world. Just give me a chance, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Each and every episode, I look forward to doing this podcast just so that I can listen to Alberto Perez sing the samba to Puerto Vallarta. Really, Alberto is the owner of the La Palapa group of restaurants in Puerto Vallarta, and you're going to find La Palapa and the El Dorado restaurants on the south side of the Rio Quale, right on the beach, just south of the famous Los Muertos Pier in beautiful Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That pier is the one that looks like that big giant sail, you know? Yeah, that's the one. So get down to La Palapa, enjoy breakfast, lunch or dinner, toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, mis amigos, really. The people of Puerto Vallarta await you, so come on down. Now, today I have a really great guest to share with you. Hey, I usually do. But first, let's look at what's happening in Puerto Vallarta this week, the 23rd of April, 2017. Well, the town is emptying out a little bit. The 2-week-long celebration of Semana Santa and Pascua have come to a close, and the crowds are subsiding a tad, but hey, things are going to be gearing up now for things that are happening in May in Puerto Vallarta, like Restaurant Week, which is coming up May 15th. Now, there's going to be plenty of restaurants participating in this year's event, so check that out. We'll be checking in on that event as time progresses, my friends. Now, a couple of days ago, I got an article from my friend Mike in Puerto Vallarta, and it's about the airport, you guys. So check it out. It's from the Yucatan Times, where I know some of you guys are going to be a little bit upset and disappointed once I get done with this article, but here it goes. Mexican Customs to phase out red light, green light inspections. The traffic light lottery utilized by Mexican Customs will soon be a quirk of the past, reports MexicoOnlineDaily.com. Changes intended to improve service to travelers include the elimination of the traffic signals that randomly select people for a baggage search at customs entry points. Does this sound familiar? At present, travelers must press a button when passing through customs, and those who get a green light are free to go, and the unlucky minority who get a red light have their bags searched. Hey, has this happened to you? Happens to me all the time, at least in Mexico. So, the changes, they say, will be implemented at Mexico City Airport Terminal 2 as a pilot project, and it'll include the elimination of customs declaration forms that are completed by travelers who are coming from abroad. Hey, that's pretty good. At airports, baggage will be inspected by X-ray scanners while in transit between planes and baggage carousels in coordination with the federales, with the federal police. Following the pilot, the new system will be introduced gradually at Terminal 1 in Mexico City and at the international airports in Cancun, Los Cabos, Guadalajara, Monterrey, through which 85% of international travelers arrive in Mexico. Hey, wait a minute. They didn't say anything about Puerto Vallarta here. What's with that? It says here plans call for all international airports in Mexico, including Merida, to phase out the red light, green light system over time. Authorities say the new procedures, which are standard practice internationally, will make it simpler and safer for those travelers for whom control and inspection measures will be imperceptible. I wonder how long it'll take them to get around to Puerto Vallarta. Sounds like they got 85% of the rest of Mexico covered. This sounds kind of strange. I guess we'll just have to see. Now, also, that Guadalajara to Puerto Vallarta highway that I was talking about last week, you know, the one that I thought would be done for Easter? Well, I'm not quite sure what I was smoking last week, but that stretch of highway, it's at least another 6 months from completion. So what I said about last week, never mind. Now look, I'll bring you more updates as we approach December 2017, which is the anticipated finish date. But until then, as they say in Mexico, mañana. Now, I'm happy to announce that I have a new page on my website at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. You can find the tab at the top of the webpage, and the tab is called Malibu to PV Real Estate. And when you wander over there, you're going to find a Realtor.com link. It'll take you to properties in Jalisco and Nayarit, and you can set up your own customized search for anywhere in Puerto Vallarta to look for a home. Now that's pretty cool, right? On the same page, you'll find a link to my newest website, Malibu to PV Real Estate, where you can peruse the most beautiful oceanfront property north of the border in my neck of the woods. Now these are homes that I sell in Malibu, California. They're properties that are owned and are being sold by movie stars and Hollywood producers and famous people. Well, you need to see these properties. So go check it out. And then lastly, I have a link on that particular page that'll hook you up to the Puerto Vallarta Regional MLS search, the multiple listing search. Now, this is a really cool tool as well, so check it out and use it. I have some 3 pretty cool links right there on my website. Remember, if you're interested in buying beach property north or south of the border, get in touch with me, and I'll hook you up with an agent in Mexico, or if it's Malibu beachfront property that you're looking for, call me, and I'll get you inside for a tour. Remember me if you're looking to get your toes permanently in the sand north or south of the border, in Malibu or Puerto Vallarta. Check out Malibu to Puerto Vallarta Real Estate. That's www.malibutopvrealestate.com. Check it out. You can find it on my website at thepuertovallartatravelshow.com. Okay. Now, I'm going to be in town May 7th through the 16th, and I already have a couple of you listeners who are interested in doing a meetup in Puerto Vallarta while I'm there, so I think we can have a lot of fun with this. I'll bring my microphones and my recording equipment, and you can tell our listeners what you're up to in paradise. Now, I know we got lots of local listeners here that listen to the show, and if you are a local and you are listening, and maybe you have a service or a suggestion for my listeners, something that you'd like to share with all of us, well, by all means, please reach out like some others already have and send me an email. Just go to the Contact Us tab at the top of the page and send me an email, really. Now, let's see if we can put something together. I'll get JR involved. Maybe we'll have a little drinking, maybe a little eating. Who knows? Maybe we can meet at Cuatesicuetes or, I don't know, Lapa Lapa. I'm not sure yet, but we're going to have lots of laughs, that's for sure. Now, speaking about reaching out, a couple of weeks ago, I had a couple from Wisconsin, Brad and Tammy. They reached out to me, and they told me that they wanted to share their Puerto Vallarta experiences with all my listeners. Now, I have to tell you that they have some great ideas. They've had some fantastic stories to tell, and you'll be hearing from them in 2 weeks. Then, next week, With Restaurant Week coming up, I'm going to have an interview with the owner of Una Familia restaurant in Puerto Vallarta, Edwin. And he was kind enough to allow me to interview him at his newest restaurant, Una Familia on the Malecon. It's got a great view. We're going to be talking with Edwin in Puerto Vallarta, and that'll be next week, so stay tuned for that. All right, let's get on with the show. When I first came to Puerto Vallarta, like 30-some-odd years ago, my dad told me, never eat the vegetables, son. Don't eat any salads. You're going to get sick. Well, look, you didn't have to tell me that more than once. I hated the thought of getting Montezuma's revenge almost as much as I hated eating vegetables, so it was no biggie, right? But you can only imagine the difficulties that non-meat eaters would have in a place where cleaning and washing vegetables could actually be dangerous for you to consume, right? So if you've listened to this show, you know that the water in Puerto Vallarta is drinkable. You can actually drink it from the faucet. Well, let's be clear here, because when we talk about Puerto Vallarta, what I'm talking about is from the Ameca River to the north, just above the airport, all the way down to Conchas Chinas in the south, which is just beyond downtown and the south side areas of Puerto Vallarta. Now, in that whole swath of Puerto Vallarta, you can actually get potable water. You can actually drink out of the sink, right out of the sink. But do I do that? No, I don't. I always bring my own drinking water. I always buy drinking water, bottled water, when I'm in Puerto Vallarta. I don't want to take that chance of getting sick while I'm on vacation. But many of you do, and that's okay, to each his own. Here's the deal, the cool thing about having water like we do in Puerto Vallarta, being clean and so forth, is if you're taking a shower, happen to take a swig, when you're showering and, forget about it, you're not going to get sick. If you're brushing your teeth and you accidentally, are using the sink water, you're not going to get sick. And when restaurants wash their vegetables in the water that comes through, most of it's filtered water too, by the way. I mean, on top of the municipal water, many restaurants use filtered water. Look, you're not going to get sick there either, right? So that's why with over 700 restaurants throughout the Bay, you can order, you can get your vegetables, and you can order them in your salads, and you can eat them too. It's very different than it was way back when, and it's very different than it is today in most of Mexico. Now, with all this veggie love going on here, the list of restaurants that cater to the non-meat eating crowd, it's getting bigger and bigger. And, well, the numbers of those folks who have made it their lifestyle choice to, give up meat and meat products, both young and old, well, they are growing. There's lots and lots of them. Look, don't get me wrong, folks. I'm not there yet, okay? I haven't quite evolved, so to speak. I love to eat, and I love to eat everything. And I'm just so grateful now for my non-meat-eating brethren who can now enjoy eating in Mexico. It brings me great pleasure right now to introduce to you my next guest, and her name is Diana Edelman. She's a travel writer and a proud vegan, and we're just so lucky to have her on the show with us to tell us about what she found in Puerto Vallarta for those amongst us who follow your hearts through that vegan lifestyle. So let's join Diana in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we'll hear about her Puerto Vallarta experiences. Today, I have a very special guest, Diana Edelman, and she's a longtime animal rights activist and a travel expert. And she's going to join us, talk to us a little bit about vegan dining in and around Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So, Diana, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
I found you through your blog. So, tell my listeners about yourself. How did you come to embrace the vegan lifestyle?
Okay, well, I am a writer by trade, and I've been running websites since 2009. I actually have only been vegan about a year and a half. Oh. I've been vegetarian since 2012, and I stopped eating meat when I lived in Thailand. I worked in Thailand for 2.5 years, doing social media and PR and writing about an elephant rescue organization. So it was there I kind of saw the way animals were treated, and I just stopped eating meat. And then obviously living abroad and not being able to speak a language makes it a little difficult to communicate. So when I moved back to the States in 2015, I adopted the vegan lifestyle then.
Ah, okay. So veganism is different than vegetarianism. So what are the differences exactly?
Correct. Well, vegetarian is not eating meat. Vegan is not consuming any animal byproducts. So vegetarian is more of just a diet, whereas a vegan lifestyle is, I look at the makeup I wear, make sure it's cruelty free and there's no animal byproducts in it. I don't purchase leather. In terms of what I consume, no milk, no dairy, no cheese, no eggs, no meats, none of that. So it's, okay. I eat a plant-based diet.
Okay. All right. And then you supplement your diet probably with other stuff,
correct.
Right?
Well,
okay.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions about eating a vegan diet is that you don't get protein. And you actually, kale and items like that, there's actually more protein in that, and they're healthier for you than the meats.
Oh,
so,
wow. Okay.
I eat tons of kale, but I do supplement. I have vegan vitamins. I take D3, B12, and a couple others as well.
Well, we all worry about you guys, so I just want to make sure, as meat eaters, we worry about you vegans, and you know what?
I take care.
And I'm sure that there are plenty of listeners who are just interested in the vegan and vegetarian kind of dining and eating, and what there is actually to offer in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So you went to Puerto Vallarta, and vegans, they encounter problems wherever they go, but in traditional Mexican cooking, I mean, what are the things you're really worried about?
It's actually, I wasn't really aware of quite a few of the traditional Mexican cooking aspects until I got down there. Uh-huh. And so the things I really paid attention to was how the rice was cooked. So if it was cooked in a chicken stock, and then the beans, because a lot of times the beans are cooked in lard. So those were the two big things I paid attention to when I went to any restaurant that wasn't specifically vegan or vegetarian. I asked. And oftentimes they would say, it's vegetarian, but it's cooked with chicken. So it's not vegetarian. There's just no meat in the actual rice. Yeah. So it was a lot of communicating and explaining what that actually meant to me.
How's your Spanish? Is your Spanish good?
Yeah. My Spanish isn't bad. I lived in Spain for about a year, and I took Spanish while I was there. So I can communicate the basics.
Good. Okay. All right. So surely, we're talking Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. There's hundreds of restaurants in Puerto Vallarta, and I'm sure that you were able to find a few that meet your vegan dining kind of guidelines. So why don't you tell us what your top picks were? Tell us maybe about the restaurants that you liked best.
Sure. Okay. Well, I was there, and I'm coming back in a few weeks, but I was there in October, so it was low season, and some of the places I really wanted to go weren't open yet. Yeah. So I kind of modified my search a bit. The first place I actually went was one of my favorites, and that's Planeta Vegetariano. And that's, I believe, in Gringo Gulch. So you have to climb a little bit of steps to get up there. But it's a vegetarian and vegan buffet, and it's sensational. There's tons of items to choose from, whether you're vegan or vegetarian. The food was amazing. The women who worked there were able to communicate with me, and we spoke English and Spanish, and she showed me what was vegan and what was just vegetarian. Uh-huh. That was, for me, that was just wonderful. It's an all you can eat, and I stuffed my face. And that was actually one of two places I went back to, because the food was just wonderful and the quality was really excellent as well.
Now you said that's all you can eat. So it was kind of like a buffet style kind of deal, or?
Yeah. Buffet, correct.
Okay, what kind of dishes did they have there?
Oh, I don't know the names of them.
Well,
they had the traditional, you had the beans, the rice, vegetables. It was just a lot of variations of all those different things. If I recall correctly, there were a few that had some fake meat in them, but not many. But it was all relatively healthy. I think maybe there was one fried dish. Mm-hmm. They had soups, chips, salsa, and then salads, hot food, maybe like 6 or 7 like hot items you could choose from. And then they had a vegan dessert at the end that you could enjoy as well.
Okay, and how about what are we talking about price-wise?
Oh gosh, I don't recall. I believe it was about $5.
Okay, so really cheap. Now, I walked past that place every day when I was in Puerto Vallarta. It's right at the bottom of the steps when you're coming down from the El Cerro part of town, and you're just starting to get to the flat part. But that's a great pick, and it smelled so good. Every time I walk past it, it's like, oh, I got to go there.
It's so good. And I believe it's open breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's super casual. I'm pretty sure I went there once in just gym shorts and a t-shirt and was gross from hiking. So it's just a great, adorable little spot, and it's pretty easy to miss if you don't know what you're looking for. But I just loved it.
Nice. Okay. What next?
So it's a little bit outside of Zona Romantica. I had to hop in a cab for this one, but Playa Detox. And that's, I believe, near the hotel district, down a bit. So we took a taxi and it had just opened. They just recently moved locations. So this spot, when we went there, they didn't have any of the gas working, so they couldn't make us any hot food.
Okay.
So we ate entirely raw, and it was absolutely just gorgeous, gorgeous, creative dishes. They had noodles, burgers. We got freshly made sorbet, which was just, oh my gosh, beautiful. They have juices, juice shots. So it's just a place you go if you want to feel really healthy and just put really good stuff into your body. I absolutely loved it. It's all glass windows, just a beautiful, beautiful place to go and eat some really healthy dishes.
Okay, called Playa Detox. Didn't somebody tell them that they should have a prettier name than that?
Well, what beach detox in English, it's not bad. Well, I guess it's kind of true. You're probably not eating the best. And if you're on vacation in Puerto Vallarta, you're probably having some tequila, and then you need a detox from the beach and the party.
Okay.
And
all right. Okay. All right. I get it now. I get it. I follow. All right. Well, interesting. Now, didn't you say like burgers, raw burgers? What's with that?
I don't believe. Well, I didn't have the burgers. I just know
okay.
that they had them. They're veggie burgers, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I don't have the menu in front of me, but I know that they had burgers there.
Okay, got it. All right.
We had zoodles.
Okay, and now that's in the hotel zone. You said
it's across the street from most of the hotels. Like it's inland a bit, on the way to Costco, I believe.
Okay. So we will, I'm going to link as we go through these, just so my audience knows. I'll have links to all of these restaurants as we go through them. I'll put them all in my show notes. So, all right. So Playa Detox. What's next?
Okay. So another vegetarian vegan one is Restaurant Vegetariano Mary. And so that, again, is outside of Zona Romantica. I actually walked there with a friend, and we took a cab back. It's probably about a 45-minute walk. It's in the bottom of a little hotel, very basic, but it's, again, a vegetarian and vegan buffet. I don't recall it being very expensive. And there's no AC in the restaurant, but that's okay because the food is good, and you're not going to really worry about it while you're eating.
Right, yeah. Although sometimes you get into some of these places that don't have the air conditioning, and it's like, okay, it's too hot to eat. It's just way too hot to eat.
Oh.
Sometimes.
Well, they had beautiful the agua frescas, and so we were downing those, and they had fans as well.
Well, you were there in October, and I like to go in October as well, and it is really hot in October, hot and humid.
So hot. And coming from Thailand, it was just about the same. Like, I live in the desert now. And so going from Vegas to Puerto Vallarta with the heat and the humidity, it was brutal.
Oh yeah. It's like you're swimming. It's amazing.
You are. Yeah. I forgot what it was like, but the fans make everything better.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully you got a lot of fans going on there. Okay. So now where did you say that this now, this was what?
It's off Calle.
Vegetariano Mary. Okay, got it.
Yeah. It's off Calle Honduras, but, I'm not familiar enough with the city to be able to tell you exactly where that is. Yeah. It's Yeah, it's maybe about a 10-minute taxi ride and a 45-minute walk from the Malecon.
Okay. All right. So on Honduras. Okay. No, okay. Very good. I'll have all those. I'll put a little map in my show notes so everybody can find it. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
and actually, I did a blog post with all the dining, and I have everything we're talking about. I have LinkedIn and then a map as well.
Oh, you do have a great map. In fact, okay, we'll link you up there. That's how that's going to work. So we'll link up to Diana's. I'm going to save myself a lot of work. Okay, good. So you can take a look at her blog, and she actually, her blog is beautiful. I mean, the pictures that she took. Did you take those pictures yourself?
I did.
Dang, you're a good photographer, girl.
Thank you.
All right, Diana. Now we've got 3 that are the restaurants that are strictly like vegetarian or strictly vegan restaurants. You've got Playa Detox, you've got Restaurant Vegetariano Mary, and then that Vegetariano Planet Vegetariano or something like that, right? Okay.
Correct. Close enough.
Yeah. So what's next?
So, okay. In the Rio Quale, there is a restaurant called River Cafe, and it is massive, and it is beautiful, and it is on the river, and I am obsessed with it. They have a few vegan options and a few vegetarian options, and that is by far probably some of the most creative vegan food I've eaten. In Vegas and in Mexico, they have, my favorite dish was a coconut quinoa, and it had in it sauteed bell peppers, coconut almonds, and obviously quinoa, and a habanero caramel sauce. So it was just, sensational, something you don't normally find. And so really exquisite, really unique dishes at River Cafe.
Right. Now, you said it's a beautiful place, beautiful location there, and big?
Yes, big. Yeah, it's very big. Service was excellent. It's a little more upscale. So, I mean, obviously you're on vacation, but it's it's a really nice experience. Beautiful plating of everything. It's a place you go if you're a foodie and you really appreciate, creative cuisine.
Great. Okay. And you went there for dinner?
I did.
Were these all dinners and lunches?
There were lunches and dinners, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that sounds very nice. I've never been to the River Cafe, but I've heard some great things about it, and I'm going to go.
Oh, it's so fantastic. I that is probably the one meal I am so excited to go and eat when I get back there.
Great. Wow. Okay. So what next?
Sure. Okay. There's Gabby's restaurant, and now Gabby's is, again, it's a little, I think it's maybe like a few steps up the hill in Zona Romantica. They don't have anything specifically vegan. However, their staff is knowledgeable, and I stopped there. That was my second meal, Vallarta, and they made me a gorgeous burrito with beans and guac and a little side salad, and it was amazing. And you're sitting out there on the patio with a view of the bay, and it just doesn't really get better than that in terms of atmosphere.
Yeah, and they're so nice at Gabby's. And now, did you have? I'm trying to figure out if it was the owner that was there, but he's very. He just loves his restaurant, and he tells you everything about what they're doing.
I don't know if the owner was there, but I know my server was really excited about the restaurant, and they get their racia from, I believe, someone the server's related to from the jungle right outside the city. And so he sent me photos on Facebook, and he told me all about it and explained to me the process of making racia. So I thought, their staff was just so kind and so attentive, and it was very obvious they really cared about the restaurant and the people that were coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful restaurant. It's just up the street from the cathedral, and it on Hidalgo. And what else can I say about that? Oh, at night, they play the Night of the Iguana on a wall. There's a wall that when you're looking out towards the bay, that's there. It's the side of a building, and they project the Night of the Iguana on the side of the building at night.
That's fantastic. I'm going to have to go check that out when I'm back.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Gabby's is great. So wonderful. Where else? Oh, speaking of Ricea, by the way, some of my listeners might not know what that is. Ricea is moonshine. And actually, in the next episode, we're going to be talking with JR, and he's going to be talking Ricea. So pretty funny that you should bring that up.
It's my new obsession. I got to Mexico and I wasn't really a fan of tequila, and I'd never heard of Ricea. And by the time I left, I was obsessed with both. Amazing.
Okay, cool. All right, so we'll be talking about that next. You all stay tuned for that. All right. What else do you have there, Diana?
I've got a couple more. La Palapa. They have a very small vegetarian vegan section, but I put it on the list because of where it is. It's right on the beach in Los Muertos, and they have not only tables and chairs on the beach, but they have lounge chairs on the beach. So you can go eat your brunch. And I live in Vegas, so we love our brunch. And look at the bay. And it's breathtaking and beautiful. So we went there. I ended up staying there for quite some time. We went for brunch and stayed for lunch. So for breakfast or brunch, I guess I had oatmeal. And I just said sin leche, and they made it with water. And it's fine. It's oatmeal. It's nothing creative, but it's breakfast. And breakfast I found was the hardest meal to eat in Puerto Vallarta. And then for lunch, I had a really nice salad. I think it was the ensalada mazamitla. And so it had spinach, mushrooms, and tomatoes in it. But they also have items like vegetable fajitas. And then for dinner, they have vegan options as well. So you just have to ask. But I loved it because the setting was just perfect. You're sitting out there. You could have a champagne for brunch or a cup of coffee and just sit and just watch the beauty of Puerto Vallarta all around you.
Yep. I just love La Palapa, but everybody knows that listens to my show. All right.
I'm really excited. Actually, the place I'm staying when I go down in May is a block from La Palapa.
Oh, great. Oh, okay. All right, so let's see. So Gabby's and La Palapa and River Cafe are not specifically vegetarian or vegan, but they do have vegan options. Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
All right. Do you have any others?
The last one I have on my list is A Page in the Sun, and I put that on there. They don't have anything really. You have to kind of piecemeal something together, but I put it on there because they were knowledgeable and I could communicate with them in English. So if you don't speak Spanish, you can talk to them. I also put it on there because I work online. And so I like to go places and have a coffee and work. Mm-hmm. And that is a fantastic place to do it. It's a bookstore and coffee shop all in one. And they have a desk you can sit at. It's a really great place if you want to go be online, or if you want to go just read a book or browse for a little bit and just hang out for a couple minutes, get inside from the hot beach and stuff. Yeah. I got a bagel with some vegetables on it. So it's pretty basic, but they do have coffee with soy milk and almond milk options. I believe they have almond milk. And the coffee is organic and locally grown. They have agua fresca, which I love, juices and smoothies. So there's options there. There's just nothing specific. You have to kind of ask. And bonus points for having wine and beer.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're on the south side. They're not too far from the beach. So a nice place.
And you know what? I forgot one more. Salud.
Oh, you can't forget Salud. Okay, cool. Yeah.
I know. I completely forgot. And I don't know what. Salud actually is the only other place I went to more than once. And
okay.
There it's light bites. I got a beautiful salad with quinoa and tofu and broccoli and tomatoes. And it was just fantastic. So it's a healthy spot. They've got a juice menu. They have bowls. They serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Oatmeal, quinoa. It's all the healthy stuff, kind of like a Playa Detox, but in Zona Romantica. And the staff is wonderful. They have the menu in English, and if you don't speak Spanish, they've got a teeny little patio outside where you can watch everybody walk by.
That's a great spot.
I love it. That's another one I'm really excited to go back to.
So that's Salud Superfood for you guys. And once again, I'll have it in my show notes, and I'm going to have it linked up with Diana's stuff as well. And, the Salud has some great options, vegan, vegetarian, and just, regular ones too. But real healthy, really great choices. And the people that are there that working there, they're so nice. They're just really, really sweet people.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Okay, great choice. All right, so far you've done really well. These are all excellent choices, you guys. Okay, and she's got, as I was saying earlier, she's got these great pictures that she's taken of the food that she ate there, and what a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, I read on in your blog, because you do travel blogs and stuff like that. You're a well-seasoned travel journalist. So let's talk about some of the places that you stayed. Well,
Okay.
when you were in town, where'd you stay when you were in town?
I stayed at 3 different properties in town. I stayed at Luna Liquida up the hill, and then I stayed at Garlands del Rio and Rivera del Rio.
Okay. Now, actually, from my apartment, I can see Luna Liquida. How'd you like that place?
It's breathtaking. Absolutely breathtaking. I just absolutely loved it. The staff was fantastic. They have a nice little breakfast you can eat there. And then there's a kitchen. So if you want to make food later, you can. A rooftop plunge pool, a little bar up top if you want to, well, not a bar, but an area where you can sit and drink. We brought our Ressia up there, and the view is spectacular. It's of the whole zona romantica below you. The rooms are gorgeous. I had a beautiful room with a view of the bay. The only hard thing was getting up that hill, and after a while, it became okay. But that first day, coming from the desert where it's flat to going to walking up there in the heat,
that's where you blew it. You walked. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
I
thought I wasn't going to, but then I started exploring, and I did.
Okay, yeah. For now on, okay, just remember, cab up that hill. Yeah. They don't like it. They don't like it. They burn rubber going up that hill, but they'll get you up there.
Yeah, but the property itself was just wonderful. I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was the start of my vacation, and it was a perfect start.
The nice thing about that location is that you're far enough north of where the clubs are on the Malecon that you don't get that sound coming up the hill. So
no, all we got was the pirate ship.
Right, and that's only at 9:00 at night. It's happens once a night, every night, 9:00.
And then you're done.
And then you're done. Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. All right. Where else did you stay in town? You said you stayed at Garland's?
Garland's and Rivera. And so they're owned by the same man, Alex. I'm blanking on his last name. Okay. But both of those properties are just amazing. I can start with Garland's, and that's closer to the beach. It's about maybe a 10-minute walk. You would never know it was a hotel from the outside because there's just a big black gate, and you ring a bell, and then you open it into this paradise, essentially, with the beautiful pool and a bar and a villa. So they've got, I don't remember how many rooms they have, but they're all different rooms, and they're all kind of, they all have different names. And so I stayed in 3 different rooms while I was there.
Oh, wow.
And
really?
I ended up going back there after, I did Garland's, then I did Rivera, and then I left town for a couple days, and then I came back, and I went back and checked back into Garland's, and I stayed in 2 different rooms while I was there.
Okay, so what were the rooms? What were the names of the rooms?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, all right. All right. Did you like them both?
I loved all of them. So the first one I stayed in was just massive, king bed, but then there was a couch and a massive bathroom, and I had 2 balconies and 2 entrances to my room, one through the bathroom. It's just an odd, adorable, quirky hotel.
It is. Now, did you have a view of the river, or did you have a view of the courtyard?
I had a view of the courtyard. The first one I had a view of the courtyard. The second one, my room was on the river.
Nice.
And so my doors actually opened to a patio overlooking the river.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And then my third one, I ended up in like a penthouse type of room. So it was up when you walk in, there's a set of stairs, and that set of stairs leads you to this particular room. And it had 2 beds, like 2 big beds and a wall of windows overlooking the pool. But the property itself, and the same with Rivera, is the staff really take an interest in you, and they really take the time to get to know you. So you walk in and they give you chips and guac and a margarita. And then in the morning they make breakfast, and they have an on your honor bar at both locations. So you go to the bar, you make yourself a drink, and you just write it down. And at the end of your visit, they bill you accordingly. And I really like that. That's a nice touch, because so many properties are so hands off that this one, they not only are they really taking interest, they know your names, but they also are saying, you know what, go get drinks and just write it down, and we trust you. And that's a really nice little touch to have in a property.
Do they serve food?
They do. They have a kitchen and they serve breakfast. And then I believe they have other items you can order throughout the day at both locations.
Okay.
They also, at Garland's, they have umbrellas, chairs, and sunscreen you can bring to the beach with you.
Oh, that's a nice touch.
Mm-hmm. And then Rivera, I believe there's only 8 rooms at Rivera, but that's right on the river as well. It's a little bit my directions are failing me. It's a little bit east of Garland's, but it's just as charming. They've got a pool. Again, it's up top versus on the ground floor, and then they have even higher up a hot tub, and so you could actually watch the sunset in that hot tub. And I did that, and it was breathtaking and beautiful. But it's that property is a villa turned into a hotel, and there's like a little indoor plunge pool, which I didn't go in. I don't know if anybody does, but just inside the property. So it's really cool. It's really different. It's bright. It's airy. It's absolutely charming.
As far as price points go for the 2 hotels, are they similar?
Yeah, they are. And then the prices just vary by room and season.
Okay. Very good. And we can link up to Garland's and to Riviera. What is it?
I think it's Rivera.
Rivera. Thank you.
Rivera del Rio.
Rivera del Rio. Okay. Nice. All right. Oh, that's a great report on this. So did you actually eat breakfasts at those, or did you skip your breakfasts?
No, they made me vegan breakfast.
Oh, they did. Okay. There you go. All right.
They made me vegan breakfast. I had chilaquiles that were vegan. So it was great because, like I said, breakfast was the hardest meal to get if I didn't want just fruit. So vegan chilaquiles, fruit, delicious. I loved it. Okay,
great. So you people who are looking for, vegan and vegetarian choices and options, hey, you got a place you can stay and they'll give you that for breakfast.
Yeah.
All right. So, what I really want to hear about is where you went in between. You went to a eco-friendly resort. It was south of Puerto Vallarta.
Yes,
Mahahuitas.
Oh, it took my breath away. It was fantastic. When I lived in Thailand, I'm very used to kind of rustic. And when I mean rustic, it's a no frills property. But to get there, you have to go down to Boca, and then a little boat picks you up in Boca and whisks you down the bay to this cove where Mahahuitas is. And it's a private area. Obviously, the beach isn't private, but the property is a private cove. It's on indigenous land. And so they rent this property from the locals. And it is, I believe, a handful of casitas. And the casitas largely are open air. There's very little electricity. They use solar power. And so the electricity you get is probably a light by your bed and a teeny tiny fan. Uh-huh. It's a very intimate location. is wonderful. They've got labs that hang out there on the beach with you. They're the owner's dogs.
Dogs. Oh, dogs.
Yep. So they've got, I think, 3 or 4 labs that just come hang out with you. They get to know you and chill out with you. It's a great place, I think, for couples and families. They have, so my casita was a room with a loft, and the whole front of the casita was open, overlooking the bay. And so at night when you go to sleep, you pull a curtain across the bed so you have privacy. And the casitas were all different. Mine was a dark wood. A lot of them were really bright and painted white, all obviously using local artisans and local crafts to decorate the rooms. But the big thing here was the fact that there was no Wi-Fi. And your 4G or 3G doesn't always work. So I actually just turned my phone off for 3 days and was just blissed out. They have day beds, they have lounge chairs, and they have snorkeling, stand-up paddle boards, kayaks. You can do all of that. I just tended to hang out on a hammock or swim. They also offer hikes you can do. You can take trips to Puerto Vallarta if you want, or to, I believe, Yalapa. They have massages you can get outside, and then they serve 3 meals a day, breakfast and lunch. You sit by, with whoever you're with on your trip. It's typically a coursed meal. They make all their food in the small kitchen there. They source all their ingredients locally. I know for their fish they get right there, I believe. So there's nothing processed. It's all really healthy, really amazing food. The vegan dishes, they made me all vegan food while I was there, and it was unbelievable. And then at night, they have a community dinner. So you sit with everybody together at night. And then on your last night, if you want, you can go off on your own and have a little candlelit dinner.
Ooh, okay. That sounds romantic. So
yes, it is.
All right. So there are choices other than vegan and vegetarian as well for other people, travelers who are not of that lifestyle.
Correct. Yeah, I asked for vegan and they said no problem.
Okay. All right. So how eco-friendly is this place?
As I said, it's eco resort, but it's also a sustainable resort. And so one of my backgrounds is responsible tourism. And so they rent this land from indigenous people. So that money is going back to them. They hire locals. They're sourcing all of their produce locally. All of their casitas are made from around them. So they're using locally sourced wood, I believe. They're bringing in local artisans to decorate. They're solar powered. They ask you not to use the water too much. They ask you not to to change your towels if you don't need to. They have very little use of electricity. Even when I checked in, it's not a grand hotel. It's a small building, again, open air, where the owner sits at a desk and has a book that he writes everything in. So
you mean like a ledger or something like that?
Yeah, he has a ledger.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
So it's very basic.
Very campy.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, there's no air conditioning. There's no TV. So the first night I was there, it was actually really, really hot.
Yeah, you were there in a hot time.
Yeah, uncomfortably hot. So I would say if you're going to go, either be comfortable with that heat if you're going in October or when it's really, really hot, or do what I do. And I took a cold shower and doused my towel in cold water and slept in the towel.
Embrace the heat. Embrace the heat.
It, yeah. But it was only the one night because the other nights there were breezes. But that first night was a bit tough. All
right. So the only way in and out of there is by boat?
Yep.
Okay. So Boca. Okay. And it's actually between Boca and Yalapa, if I'm not mistaken. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Cool.
It is. There is about a 2-hour time period where that fantastic pirate ship comes on into that beach, though. So,
they picnic there or something, don't they? Or
they banana boat there, and maybe they picnic. I never looked because I was just, I was too blissed out on the beach, relaxing life to really pay attention to them, other than just see them on their banana boats. But it's quick; they don't bother you. and then they're gone.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to make you go, oh God, I'm never coming back here.
No, I mean, you're just like, oh, you know what? It's kind of a bummer that they come, but it's nothing they can control. And the rest of the day is just so relaxing and beautiful that it doesn't matter.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, wow. All right, so then you left from there, and then you went back, and you spent a couple more days in Vallarta, and off you went, eh?
Yeah.
All right, and you're coming back to Vallarta pretty soon. You're going to be doing some more stuff.
Yeah, I'm working with a Villa Mercedes, I believe.
Okay.
It's a adults only hotel, right off Los Muertos, and then maybe a couple other properties. But really, I'm going to just relax because I travel quite a bit, and Puerto Vallarta is the first time I was ever really able to balance that work I do with relaxing. So it was actually, I enjoyed working because I felt so good and chill. And that's never happened before. So, all I wanted to do was just sit and write, and I'm going to go ahead and run with that again this trip.
Diana discovered the secret Puerto Vallarta, you guys.
I think so.
Okay. Well, welcome to the club. We've discovered it too. All right. So, all right. Tell our listeners how to read your blog and tell them how they can learn more maybe about the vegan lifestyle.
Well, if you want to read the hotel reviews and my experience just as a traveler in Puerto Vallarta, my travel website is dtravelsround.com. And that's dtravelsround, ROUND.com. For vegan lifestyle, I run a website called Vegan's Baby, and it's mostly geared towards making vegan life in Las Vegas accessible to anybody interested, but it's starting to branch out. So I do have a guide to Puerto Vallarta on there. I'm also working on a London guide. And as I travel, I'll be updating that with more guides, like small city guides to vegan restaurants around the world, and also focusing more on vegan brands as a whole versus just Las Vegas brands.
Excellent. All right. All of my listeners out there, now you know where to go when you're going to be traveling on your tummies. Look for Diana's stuff. Look for her blog, and I will have all the links to that information on my show notes at PuertoVallartaTravelShow.com. Thank you so much for joining me and taking so much time out of your busy day to talk to my listeners.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This was fun.
Excellent. Well, maybe when you come back, we'll talk again. Talk a little bit about where you stayed.
I'd be happy to.
Wonderful. Thanks, Diana. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Diana. Thank you. It's just such great information for all you foodies out there. So next time you're looking to share paradise with a friend, hey, don't worry. Go ahead. Invite your vegan and your vegetarian friends on down to Puerto Vallarta next time you come on down. Easy peasy. Now, you can get all of Diana's contact information in the show notes for this show, episode 15, at www.PuertoVallartaTravelShow.com. I have the links to her website and her blog post about vegan dining in Puerto Vallarta and other parts of the world. Actually, Las Vegas too. And I know lots of you folks visit Las Vegas for fun, so check out her posts. Really, it's pretty cool. Now, her pictures are fantastic. You're going to also enjoy her writing. And hey, look, I like pictures. What can I say? I'm just a guy. So, look, she was great, wasn't she? And it wasn't all preachy and it wasn't all judgmental like you thought it might be, right? You thought maybe it might evolve into some kind of a shouting match between an animal rights activist and a meat-eating Neanderthal like myself, right? But no, it was pretty darn pleasant, I'd say. Nice. Well, we are all through for today. I hope that you enjoyed our talk with Diana Edelman about vegan dining in Puerto Vallarta. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and other surprises and Puerto Vallarta travel tips and ideas for you. And until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com, that's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him, right from his website. Remember, it's a value-for-value proposition, my friends. His experience and his on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying, thanks, JR. Thanks for being our guy. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else, so just do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences, and maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe. Give me a good review on iTunes if you will. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. So, thanks to Diana Edelman from vegansbaby.com. Check out the links to her website and blog at my website, www.puertovallartatravelshow.com, episode number 15. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for all of you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino eterno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río cuando todo está en calma. Pronto cae la noche, brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. De Puerto Vallarta.